I would like to start this third chapter of this series of documentaries called Suomelle with a gigantic thank you to all of the viewers for the interest shown toward my videos, with amazing and very interesting comments and emails that help this project to grow, learn and continue. By the way, the second episode, called The Unknown Ancient Origins of the Finnish and Estonian Languages, that to me is having a staggering and unexpected success, had the problem with the copyright of the music, and the video was restricted in Germany and cannot be played with cell phone, tablets and console. But I will fix this situation as soon as possible by re-editing it with a different sound. But let's start introducing the new chapter, that to me is one of the most shocking, due to the fact that what I will present can change the perception of reality radically to those that haven't heard yet about its topics. The historical events presented to us since a young age from the educational institution as the only truth about our origins as humans have been manipulated and distorted almost beyond recognition. Through re-edition of ancient texts with adjustment, various changes in calendars, burning entire libraries, and imposing surrealistic theories, a parasitic society behind the scene create the version of sick reality that we are currently experiencing in this world, with endless and useless wars, unsolvable poverty, and catastrophic environmental disaster that are leading us toward a very disturbing near future. It is a staged reality or an horrific fairy tale, the one that we are experiencing. And I won't lose any more time presenting this video, but I will start straight showing proof of this manipulation that brought us to forget how powerful the human species actually is, and to forget our true origins and past. A past when we were connected with our planet, nature and environment. A past without wars and famine. A past of freedom of expression. I take the occasion again to send a few words of support to the New Earth channel and their site megaliths.org for spreading hope and knowledge. And as I did with the other chapters of this series, I will use as source of the images and most of information their work. And at the end of this video, I will present two of their documentaries that will give credit to what I will show you in this episode. On the screen at this moment, you can see a compilation of books written by the Russian mathematician Anatoly Fomenko and the New Chronology Project. By the way, you can order them for free. And at the bottom of this video, you have a link to their work on the web. In those books, you will find an enormous quantity of information about the chronological shift that I'm going to present you in the next few minutes. In the Middle Ages, if we were writing a date of a specific year, we would have used in front of it the letter I as synonymous of Jesus or Jesus, to make understand that a certain event have happened after Christ. On the screen you can see an example. Or the letter X, which was meaning Christos. So let's go check how this way of numbering the years was actually working in practice in that specific period of time. One of my passion is to collect maps of every kind. I have hundreds of them from all over the world, belonging to every period of time. And I will show you one of my favorite cartographers in absolute. His name is Abraham Ortelius. There is no doubt that his maps are accepted as authentic from every so-called historians and geographer throughout the world. In fact, using the main research engine in internet, we can find out clearly that he was born on 14th of April 1527 and he died on the 28th of June 1598, and that he was a Flemish cartographer and geographer, conventionally recognized as the creator of the first modern atlas, the Theatrum Orbis Terrarum, or Theater of the World. And I personally think that this name is the most adequate, because the world, as it is presented to us, is really a theater. He is also believed to be the first person to imagine that the continents were joined together before drifting to their present position. We can also see that the Encyclopedia Britannica gives us the same exact personal information. So let's investigate his magnificent works. The map shown on the screen is very baffling. It is considered to be a 1574 map of the world. So, examining it with a bit of logic, a question comes to my mind immediately. It was made 82 years after the supposed discovery of America by this phantomatic figure called Cristoforo Colombo, and there are already all of the main rivers of South America painted with accuracy. And the idea that in few decades they could have mapped that remote area of the jungle is very fishy. But this is a subject that I will touch in a future episode. What is concerning to this investigation is the date, and as we go closer to it, we can see that in front of the number 574, there's an I or a J, synonymous of Jesus or Jesus. That's clearly not a 1. So is here 574, not 1574. But let's go check another cartographer. His name was Levinus Hulsius, and in his personal information we can read that he was born in Belgium in 1546. He was a maker and dealer of fine scientific instrument, publisher and printer, linguist and lexicographer. Wrote extensively on the construction of geometrical instruments. So also his jobs as cartographer are accepted as genuine, and also in this case, on the map shown on the screen, in front of the number 598, there is a very peculiar one. And actually, I have to say that to me, it is far to be a 1. But for all of the so-called historians, the date is 1598. But let's go investigate another cartographer from the same period. His name is Nicolaes van Gelkerken. Again, we can see that he is considered an authentic cartographer, and the date on his maps are very clear. On the left side of this particular work, we can see that there are 3 dates. One is 499, with an I or a J in front. The second one is 579, also with a J or an I in front of it. And the third is 587, again clearly with an I or a J before it. On the right side of the map, we can again see the year, which is actually the date of the map itself. And in front of the number 632, there is a clear I or J. But in all of these 4 cases, the translation to official history books done by historians, that I or J are transformed into a 1. So at this point a question rises along. What is going on here? There's actually many centuries completely added to the real historical events. Precisely They are 1000 fabricated years, as the New Earth channel called them. But before taking any conclusion, I will give you more proof that these are not just a couple of mistakes in writing dates done by lunatic cartographers, but that it is actually, and without any doubt, an organized and manufactured time shifting, or a staged and planified manipulation of the real timeline, made by parasitic psycho-illusionists to trick us and to distort our perception of historical events. As we can observe in this old emblem of the beautiful city of Vilnius in Lithuania, the age that the capital belonged to is the 7th century. It is very clear. You can see the number 7 on the left side of the emblem. But according to the history presented to us worldwide by all of the institutions, educational, economical, art, sport, and so on, the city, as we can read on the screen, belonged to the 14th century. It is just unreal. But let's take another example. Ludwig von Schlosser was a German historian who, as we can read, laid the foundation for the critical study of the Russian history. And we will later come back on this critical study of history done by German historians. But let's continue with this personal information. As we can read, they are assuring us that he was born July the 5th, 1735, and died September 9th, 1809. It is clearly written 1735 years after Jesus Christ. But if we go check how he was depicted in history, under his name we can clearly read the date of his birth in I 735. That's an I, not a 1. There's no doubt about it. But let's go back in time. In this image, we can see the illustration of the Lugduni Batavorum of Ludovici Elzeviri. If again we go check the time period which it belonged to, according to the main research engine in internet, it is clearly written that it is the end of the 1500. But if we go closer to the date represented in the previous image, we can clearly see that before the number 595, again there is the letter I of Jesus, not the number 1 of 1000. There's even a dot separating the I representing the time period after Jesus Christ and the rest of the date. In the next few seconds, I will show you some of the endless examples of this fabricated 1000 years on images courtesy of the New Earth channel. We cannot trust the history presented to us. At this point, many questions arises. How were the people at that time blinded and forced to accept this time shifting. How the society could have been manipulated to simply accept 1000 staged years. Because we have to keep in mind that in those times there was a lot of brilliant minds walking on this earth. In fact, also the physicist, mathematician and philosopher Sir Isaac Newton understood this chronological distortion, and he wrote chronicles about it. On the screen we can appreciate one of his works, done to unmask this falsified historical timeline. It's called the Chronology of Ancient Kingdom Amended, and he theorized that the Greek Empire was artificially sent back in time 534 years, the Romans 1000 years, and the ancient Egyptian with 1800 years. But the main reason why the common people just accept these invented or staged centuries is that they just could not understand what was going on, because conveniently, exactly in that specific period of time, the calendar was changed into the new falsified or adjusted Gregorian calendar. So people were forced to accept the new chronology. It is almost diabolical. They have tricked us, fooled us. These parasitic psycho-illusionists, they have distorted the perception of our own history, making us think that it is thousands of years that there's wars and conflict, giving us the sensation of impotence, looking at the sick current events that we are living in these days, making us think that it has always been like this, that the human species is thousands of years experiencing these social problems. Right after the publication of this chapter of Suomelle, I will publish a video done by the New Earth channel about these 1000 fabricated years. Please go look at it. It is beautiful. I hope that life will always help the people behind that project, because their purpose is to spread hope and knowledge. Thank you for what you are doing. But let's now connect these disgusting lies to the historical panorama of Finland. It is now a long time that I have realized this chronological mess, thanks to the studies of Anatoly Fomenko and the New Chronology Project. Again, I repeat that at the bottom of this video, there's a link to their job on the web. Please go consult it to have tons of more proof about this parasitic time distortion. And in the last few months, I came out with one conclusion. If there's so many centuries added to the real historical timeline, so there's literally thousands of events that never happen, and hundreds of thousands of people that never exist. So I started studying the genealogy of important historical figures. And I don't even start talking about Spain, England or France, where entire genealogies of emperors and families are repeated over and over to fill up this phantom time. Also because I can give you just a short overview of the situation in this video that otherwise would be 3 hours long. But I will choose just one person because of the topic of the previous chapter of this series of documentaries, which is the Finnish language. His name is Mikael Olavi, more known as Mikael Agricola.